floor of the CME Group. Tim Haefke from Top Notch Trading here today on Wednesday, December 5th with MrTopStep's morning update here. Well guys, lots of things are going on, and if there's going to ever be a major move late in the year, it's got to get some closure from this fiscal cliff that's at hand. I look at a lot of analysts that are coming on CNBC, and they're looking for the S&P to finish up at 1505 quarter to possibly 1505 16 even possibly. Who the heck knows for sure? But I'm skeptical about that. I still need some closure with this fiscal cliff, so we just got to cut to the chase and go with what I've been looking for the last couple weeks. We have 1425.40, which is a key component right now. And if these gentlemen on CNBC are going to be correct, there's a block between 1430 half to 1433. And that's what this S&P needs to achieve. And a settle above that area should accelerate a move up and possibly to those objectives that those gentlemen talk about. Other than that, we're just stagnating along here. We don't know if we're coming or going as the trade unfolds. Today we see an open of 0620 to 0670 S&P, and it holds its settle, makes a move up about 4 handles before now it's taken off to the downside because some guy thinks he's got Apple figured out and puts out a signal, and Apple's down $20 before you know it. Well, what happens to the NASDAQ? The NASDAQ opens up at 64, 50 cents underneath its settle and gets slammed. It breaks 24, 25 handles down to its current low, rebounds now, but it's working on the lower end. Meanwhile, when the S&P makes an 0370 first low, it comes back up and it tests its opening range. Rejection. So for the last week or so, I've been looking for a key level downstairs at 1396.60 ever since we've gotten back up above 1407 even. And with that in mind, we'll see who wins the race. A move below 1396.60, there's trouble for the S&P. It needs to get above 1425.40 to finally find that block of 1430 half to 1433. And by the way, last month, the high of November in that pit was 1430 half. End of story. The bonds right now, the bonds sit here, and last week I kind of mentioned about how the congestion of the moving averages, one of my studies. Well, the moving averages are slightly inching up, but they're still kind of what I call streamlining, laying flat. At this time last week, they made a high of 150.14, and right now the overnight high is 150.14, but the regular session for over 2 hours now has a low of 150.02 and a high of 150.12. Excuse me, it's a low of 150.04 and a high of 150.12. 8 ticks for over 2 hours. What's there to do? I'm still miffed at the whole situation at hand. Until I can get some directional ideas going here, I have a funny feeling we're going to see a stagnating trade. We do have employment coming out on Friday, but this morning at 9 o'clock, that non-manufacturing index was very healthy for the market. But let's go, guys. Let's get some closure on this fiscal cliff. Moving forward, we'll see you next week.